Hi there, I'm Dave Marks and welcome to this lesson 7 in my series on walking bass lines. We've had a break for quite a while, so hopefully within that time you've been able to spend some time practicing your 4-note arpeggios for your major 7, minor 7, and dominant 7 chord types. You know them with their inversions and you know them ascending and descending. Before we actually get into working on a jazz tune, there's one more chord type we should look at, and this is the half diminished. It's also called a minor 7 flat 5, and you can see it sometimes in charts represented as a circle with a line down through the middle of it. So let's look at the minor 7 flat 5. It's really, as the name suggests, it's like a minor 7 chord in which we had root, flat 3rd, 5th, flat 7, and all you do is make that minor chord and flatten the 5th as well. Root, flat 3rd, flat 5th, flat 7. And then the octave. So those notes are C, E flat, G flat, B flat, and C. I will have put up a lesson with some text on the website which will show you the minor 7 flat 5 chord and all of its inversions. If you've been using this system, hopefully it should all be pretty smooth and you should be able to see and recognize how the inversions work. Okay, so the tune we're going to look at, to actually start looking at constructing a walking bass line, is a variation on Autumn Leaves, very often used jazz standard. A lot of the time you see it in the key of G minor. I've written it in the key of E minor. It's a little bit more guitaristic-y as a key, so initially it should help us get our hands around the arpeggios and get our heads around the notes we're playing. Now the chord progression in this starts off on A minor, which would be the 4th in the key, then D7, G major 7, and C major 7. So let's just focus on those first 4 chords. We could play just root notes on each of them. A, D, G, C. In fact, I could move those up each time. A, up to D, up to G, up to C. Those are all still the same root notes, and it shows us that the chord progression moves up in fourths. A goes up a 4th to D, D goes up a 4th to G, and G goes up a 4th to C. Now this exercise doesn't need to be done in time, it's not a groove exercise, it doesn't need to swing or anything like that. We're simply getting into recognizing our shapes, knowing what the notes are in our chords, and getting our hands around them. So we start off with our A minor 7 chord. We know that this has a root, flat 3rd, 5th, and flat 7. So we play A, C, E, and G. Next we have D dominant 7, so that's a root, 3rd, 5th, and flat 7, D, F sharp, A, and C. Then we have G major 7, which is root, 3rd, 5th, and 7th, G, B, D, and F sharp. And then C major 7 is the same system again, root, 3rd, 5th, major 7, C, E, G, and B. So if I was just to play this exercise, it would sound like this. And all you have to do for your homework is take each of the shapes and play them through like that. Now that was the first 4 chords, and those chords will repeat at other times in the song. There's a few other chords in there, F sharp half diminished, B dominant 7, things like that. But just use the notes that you already have. You should have all of these shapes together. Look at this week's notes for the half diminished shape and just work on playing each of the chords, arpeggios, just like that. Slowly, deliberately. Don't worry about playing it fast. The most important thing is that you get all of the notes correct. If you'd like a PDF or even just a web page that's full of the stuff we've been discussing this week, you can go to davemarks.com. Just register there and you can get into the YouTube video section. You'll see it has loads of information with lessons on walking bass, also beginner's bass stuff, and some basic technique. Have a good time practicing, and I'll see you next week.